的 All right, Joe, you ready?
Oh, hi
We're ready to
there.
go.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Could I have an approval of the minutes from June 24th? I'll make a motion.
I'll make
Second?
a second.
All approved. Treasurer's report.
You'll see that there, from the second page, there hasn't been a lot of activity, but through the end of July, our cash on hand is $538,200. So we're in really good shape. Things have been moving right along. We're well within budget on all of our line items. If you have any questions, I can answer them, but we're in good shape.
Anyone have any questions? Could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So
The treasurer's report, I'm sorry. Second? Second.
Yep.
Thank you. Resolution 634-22.
Right, so you'll see on the next couple of items, we're looking at to extend the sales tax exemptions on several projects. The first one is Locomotive Lane Properties, which is an entity of the Gillespie Group. We're talking about the River House Apartments at Mohawk Harbor. The apartments are all full, business is going great, but it also includes the ground floor retail. And now that the SI Group is relocating from Niskayuna to that location, taking about 20,000 square feet. Of course, they're doing all the improvements now, so they need an extension on the sales tax exemption into next year. Once SI Group moves in March or so, there'll still be about 3,000 square feet of space available for leasing. But we've talked about this project year after year. Ray, I don't know if you have anything to add to this.
We worked very, very hard to keep SI in Schenectady. It would be really bad if Schenectady International went to another place that wasn't called Schenectady. It would have been not good. So we put a lot of time and effort into it. It came out with a double win, which is SI moving to the harbor and Momentum moving to corporate headquarters to the existing SI site in Niskayuna, which is going to be spectacular for Niskayuna. Momentum people came in and met the supervisor this week. They're very excited. Both companies, these are very high paying jobs, corporate headquarters jobs. The Gillespie Group is really cooperative. So you got druthers, shaker, mine. There's one small space. They're looking at a couple of different things for that. They're being picky. Then there's the pool. There's all that other space down at the other end. It's gorgeous with this huge veranda looking out over the harbor. And that's where SI is going.
Yeah.
So the Gillespie Group's doing an extensive fit up. They have to relocate the gym, the mail room for the apartments, but they're doing all that to the SI Group just fell in love with it. So it's going to be a great place for them to work. We see this more and more now. Companies are going high end to get employees to come back. They have to make it an attractive work site. And with a lot of amenities, you can walk down the veranda, go to Druthers, it's just, the bike path is there, the jogging, everything. So it was a good win, and we asked for your help to just provide this minor incentive, which is a sales.
Now, they're on Balltown Road, right?
They've been in both town roads
Forever, yeah. Okay, could I have a motion any questions? Okay. Motion to accept 634-22.
so moved.
Second,
Second.
thank you. 635-5.
The next one is for the Electric City Apartments right here at State Street and Erie Boulevard, the Hybrid Prime project. Again, same situation. The apartments are all rented up. There's 9,900 square feet of ground floor retail. They're talking to a couple of tenants right now to fill that space. They really wanted to find one tenant to occupy the whole thing. The market has changed, as you know, post-COVID here. So they're working with those tenants, again, looking for an extension of the sales tax exemption through towards the end of next year for a 1 year period here. And so they would need it for the fit up of that space.
The other positive here is that the whole Nicholas thing has been settled, so the fence, shortly, documents are being signed, so the fence comes down and that corner spot gets landscaped next to this, right on the corner, very highly visible corner.
Erie Boulevard.
Erie State, yeah.
Awful, yeah, okay.
It's all overgrown now, there's a fence, the owners of the property, that property will become part of this complex, so they'll landscape it.
Okay, any questions? Could I have a motion for
I'll make the
6355-22?
motion.
Make a motion. Thank you. Second. Thank you. 636-22. Got it.
Right, you might remember this project, the Hillside Crossing project, a residential, a series of residential and affordable housing projects in Hamilton Hill, large scale, $37 million project. The residential component of the project has all been completed, but there is a commercial space that's available for a laundromat. So there's a need for some additional fit out. So we're just extending the sales tax exemption, which lapsed in May. We've been trying to get a meeting together, of course, and we'll run it through early next year so they can complete that space, which is a nice little project, part of the project, but also good for the neighborhood having commercial laundry there.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to accept 636-22?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
All in favor? All right, thank you. 637-22.
This is the old YMCA at the bottom of State Street. North Star Development, which is a large affordable housing developer in the area, is selling their portion of the project to another member of the business, Beacon Communities Corp., which is also a very large affordable housing developer in the Northeast. So there's just a change in ownership and management. Needs IDA consent in order to go ahead with that. For us, it's important just to have the right contacts, with the right people, because there is a pilot in place, and we do have regular contacts with all of our projects that have pilots. So we need to go through this. There's some papers that Joe needs to sign as well, but it doesn't really, I don't think it really changes anything other than, the legalities of the project, and we're recommending its approval.
Just, the complex is fully leased. It was a $20 million makeover. This was a really tough building. The college has leased the old gym and office and fitness facility. North Star's principals are retiring. They did a great job.
Oh, it's nice.
And
Beautiful inside.
Beautiful. And we're really proud. And they keep the property beautiful. The front is always maintained with the landscaping. It's just, we're so proud of this project that it was a tough building, and senior complex now, some affordable units in here. It's just been a real success.
It is also, what is it, 55 and up?
55 plus, yeah.
Do you know the highlights of the renovation? Like what's that?
We did that was done a number of years ago. It was a gut renovation of the whole place. Everything was.
Place was a mess.
27,
Really bad.
190 homeless, drug and alcohol addicted, unemployed men lived there.
People would yell out of those windows all day long.
90-foot rooms.
It was really
on a hot day.
like a jail.
It was like a Rikers. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And they, of course, moved to the Broadway complex where everyone has their own. It's a fantastic accomplishment that the WISE residence program moved down to Broadway, and then this building got rehab. Everything. The only part of that building you think got rehab is they locked the pool up in the basement. There was a pool in the basement, if you remember, and they just locked that up because it's too many headaches to try to figure that one out. But everything else in the building was rehab. $20 million. With some housing tax.
And that was like the first project on Lower State Street that started a whole sequence of projects that just transformed the bottom of State Street.
There were tremendous problems with residents there. You don't blame people in nowhere conditioning.
That whole area down there is, obviously I live down there. It's so impressive when you see that
The park.
long building and Frog, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Going, the new street going down.
Yeah. And the mobility hub is coming. David and Jamie have been working really hard on that with CDTA, where the bus station was, you'll be able to.
Yeah, $4 million investment where the former bus station was. It will improve, some of the buses will come around there. It will kind of extend the park, create some additional facilities for the park to have events. So it's quite nice. That'll happen in 2023.
And that block house, what is that going to be?
As soon as we possibly can. We can't.
No, but what is it?
They want to do a mixed use there, restaurant.
The restaurant.
Bar in the basement.
Like great looking building.
Yeah, it's an important building to save, really is.
Okay, could I have a motion for 63722? Second?
Second.
In favor? Thank you. Other business.
Thanks for coming in, because that one was time sensitive, because they're closing on that, so we really needed everyone to come in, so thank you for coming in.
I have a question about SI. Weren't they gonna be going into the Gola building, weren't they?
At one, prior to COVID, they had signed a lease
Yeah,
to go into the Gold building. And when COVID hit, they have plants in China, India, and they were just overwhelmed. They had numerous employees die overseas, so they just got consumed with COVID. And they put everything on hold. And the Gold Corporation, Neil and company, let them out of their lease. They had a signed lease. It's the only reason we announced the project. And they let them out of the lease. So once we got through COVID, they started their search again, and they were looking for a little smaller footprint. And again, their whole search criteria changed. They wanted, they didn't want to go into a traditional corporate office building like the Gola building is, as beautiful as it is with the gym, cafeteria, and everything. They wanted eclectic, interesting space, and they wouldn't even look at that. They didn't even consider it. Neil was a little more than upset.
I was gonna say, he was probably
But,
happy.
we've told him, and he's a friend, but we told him very
Did you?
bluntly that he had a signed lease and let him out of it. I remember both Dave Bucco and I were saying, Neil, get $100,000 from, as a penalty, give it to the boys club or something, girls club, he let him walk. And so they had no obligation to fulfill the terms of that lease. So they came back and did a completely different type of search. They looked down here, they looked all over the area, they looked out of state, and they wound up going to the harbor, which it's gonna be great for that area. We kept them in the county. That's our job. We show people everything. The company picks. We don't pick. The company picks.
Yeah.
Well, good question, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, as my mother used to say. It's just you let them out of the lease, you don't let them out of the lease. So
How did Momentum become a bit part of that, like to take over SI? Were they?
we worked really hard on that one too. Momentum has been looking for headquarters for years. They've looked in Colony. They've been searching for someplace. They want to get out of Waterford, but they have a production facility. It's not. It doesn't have the image that they wanted. They really loved the Niskayuna site when it became available again. But we negotiated for about a year. There were a lot of some concern about environmental. We brought in our environmental team led by this guy named Nate Summer, who's the best in the business. And he was able to craft some language and other things in the contract that allowed everyone to go forward. But we put in a large incentive to get them here, but it's 200 headquarter job. All of their senior people, it's a worldwide company, are going to be on Balltown Road. It's going to be great. And we were really concerned if SI did not get a buyer, they were going to donate the property to a charitable group and walk away. So that would have taken it off the tax rolls, and we were concerned about what charitable group really had the wherewithal to take care of that 80-acre campus with, it's beautiful. So
What about, the corner of Erie Boulevard and State Street, State
we're
Theater?
moving ahead with that. Wedgeway project, they expect that they're going to be in court with the current owner on Monday over the code violations. So the city's
What a
continuing to
jerk.
prosecute him. Yeah, no, he's difficult. But we have our development team is buying the building. They're closing in the next month. I sent Jamie a note this morning. They want to be prepared to close.
So will it be apartments upstairs,
Yes.
then try for retail on the first floor?
Yes. And we're applying for a Restore New York grant to help with the project costs. It's going to be a $20 million project again. It is when we take people on a tour of downtown, that's in planning terms, they call it Main and Main, the corner of Main. That's the main corner. Right now it looks awful.
Yeah, but it's,
It looks awful.
but
It's
in a
Main and
way,
Main.
but in a way, it's almost okay that it looks awful because you can show them what you can do
Well,
across the street.
I
You
wish
say,
it was
this,
fixed.
this
Yeah.
is gonna happen over
Yeah.
here, and we're spending the money to do it.
The other things that
But
have
they know
happened,
that.
the other things that have happened on Lower State have made this project possible.
Yeah.
Starting with the Y,
Right.
the new train station helps, all the other
Yeah.
development downtown helps. you know, but Frog Alley was huge, but it's Main and Main, and it is, we had Governor Pataki in town for a tour, and, you know, as we crossed Erie Boulevard in the car, he's like, wow, what is that? You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it is 2 million people go by it a year going to the casino. I'm like, what is that? You know, they used to say that about Grossman's, they used to say that about the old train station. We keep whacking those things off, you know, getting them 2 guys, getting them off the list, but it's
And
I
what
gotta tell you, the more you look at that Wedgeway building, what I call a state theater,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely critical. So,
And then there's, you know, the empty space underneath Electric City apartment, all that's all retail space, isn't it?
that's what we,
That's probably a tough nut to crack.
and part of it is because they look across and the Wedgeway building's falling into itself,
Yeah.
and it's all empty and boarded up, so they get these things feed off.
It's a
each
tough
other.
one, I would think.
And
Yeah.
the building, and the corner is all overgrown where the Nicholas building was, so it's.
How'd you make out with the parking that on Liberty that you were talking about?
We're still, we sent, I haven't heard back from Tony. We are buying or trying to buy a lot that Tony Civitello owns on Liberty. That
Okay.
contains about 60 spaces. That is absolutely critical to the.
Behind the Saratoga National Bank, the other side of Liberty
The other
Street,
side of the
yeah.
road, okay.
Trustco would not sell us their lot.
Oh, I was gonna ask you that, they would.
Which was just outrageous.
Where are you talking now?
Right behind Burger King, there's 2 parking lots. that are
Right, right.
Critical to the.
Oh, right.
redevelopment of the Wedgeway building.
Trustco owns that.
And we're overpaying, but the developer's gonna pay 200. We were hoping to have the IDA at some point, thank you for, pay the other 200 if we can. There's so many restrictions on what you can have the IDA spend money on. We have $570,000 in the bank, but it's absolutely critical. So we're hoping to get that going as he closes on we didn't want to close on that before he closes on the building.
Right, oh, right.
But
Isn't
the
it-
fact that Trustco wouldn't do that is more than ridiculous. you know?
Isn't that parking lot empty all day long?
It is.
The Trustco parking lot?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, okay, yeah.
It is.
That's, doesn't make any sense.
Nope. But who am I to judge? Support your local credit union.
That's right.
Yeah, and so thank God that Tony was willing to work with us, because without parking, people aren't gonna live there.
Right.
Okay, anything else? Could I have a motion to adjourn?
Hey, let me just
Oh, I'm
introduce
sorry.
Danielle Walsh, our
Yes.
new project manager.
Oh, yes.
This is her first week
Thank
on
you.
the job. Jennifer's on vacation. Tony is working from home today. So we got somebody else to add into the office. We have so many projects. We need another project manager. So
Jennifer's on Lake Champlain.
yes, she is.
Yeah, that's right. I talked to her yesterday. Okay. Any other business? Okay, motion,
I motion.
second. Second. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
What's happening with the